I don't understand the media constantly trying to twist the things I say into a negative way when all I want is better for women.
Liz Cambage, a 6'8" powerhouse who could dominate a game like few others, a player who should have been celebrated as one of the WNBA's most unstoppable forces, instead turned into one of its most polarizing villains. Now imagine this, one of the league's brightest stars suddenly vanishes. No farewell tour, no jersey retirement, just a tidal wave of headlines labeling her problematic, toxic, and too controversial to keep around. The story the public got, that she crossed a line so bad she could never come back. But what if that wasn't the truth? What if Liz Cambage didn't walk away because of what she did, but because of what she knew? According to her, the narrative we've been fed about her WNBA exit wasn't just wrong, it was planted, crafted to shift the heat away from someone else. And here's the twist, that someone might be Brittney Griner.
I don't appreciate the lies. Don't you ever get sick of lying on my name? Like, sheesh. Don't you have anything else better to talk about?
The same Brittney Griner the league fought harder for than any player in recent history. The same player many fans now claim is untouchable, no matter what line she crosses. So the question isn't just why Liz was pushed out, it's what she knew, and why the league wanted her gone before she could say it out loud. When Liz Cambage's name hit the headlines in 2021, it wasn't for breaking records or dominating in the paint. It was for an incident that would follow her like a shadow. During a pre-Olympic scrimmage against Nigeria, reports claimed things got physical, and not just in a competitive on-court way. Allegations surfaced that Liz lashed out at players, with some accounts painting the scene as heated, ugly, and completely out of control. The reaction was instant. Sports outlets pounced. The headlines weren't subtle, uncoachable. Locker room cancer, a disaster for the WNBA's image. Sponsors quietly backed off, teams suddenly had no comment, and while the league stayed silent, the public narrative was already locked in. Liz was a problem. From there, the storyline wrote itself. She was portrayed as unpredictable, too emotional, and ultimately too dangerous to the league's brand. It didn't matter that the details of that scrimmage were murky. It didn't matter that no official suspension or expulsion was ever announced. The damage was done, and the image of Liz Cambage, the liability, became the version the public believed. But that's where things get strange, because while the league let that version of the story circulate, they never gave a formal statement to back it up. And when you think about it, like, silence can be just as calculated as speaking. If Liz Cambage was truly done with basketball, you'd expect a moment, a press conference, a retirement post, a final thank you to the fans who cheered her on for years. But that never happened. No official goodbye, no jersey hanging in tribute, just silence. One day she was in the league, the next she wasn't, and nobody could point to the exact moment she left. It was as if she had been erased, not retired. In the months that followed, fans pieced together her life through scattered glimpses online. A photo shoot here, a modeling campaign there, the launch of her account that grabbed headlines for all the wrong reasons. To the public, it looked like a flameout, a star who burned too bright, too fast, and crashed. But behind the scenes, there was no clear break, no formal statement saying she was walking away forever. And when someone with Liz's talent simply vanishes without a proper send-off, it raises a question. Was she moving on by choice, or was she being moved out? To understand why Liz Cambage's disappearance feels so suspicious, you have to look at the player the league seemed far more willing to protect, Brittney Griner. Griner wasn't just another star, she was the WNBA's poster child. Her size, her skill, and her outspoken personality made her one of the most marketable players in the sport. But it was her time overseas and her dramatic detainment that turned her into something even bigger, a global headline. When she was stuck in a foreign prison, the league rallied like never before. Public statements, media campaigns, high-profile advocacy from celebrities and politicians. The WNBA made it crystal clear Brittney Griner was worth fighting for at all costs. And when she finally returned home, the league leaned into her story even harder. Every game she played became a symbol of resilience. Every appearance was framed as a victory for the sport itself. But here's the uncomfortable part. When a player becomes that important to the brand, disciplining them or exposing any scandal tied to them isn't just bad press. It's a direct hit to the league's bottom line. And that's where Liz's story takes a turn. Because if the rumors are true, her sudden fall from grace might have less to do with her own mistakes and more to do with protecting the league's golden player. This is where things get murky, where the whispers online start to sound a lot less like coincidence. Rumors began to circulate that Cambage and Brittney Griner's relationship behind the scenes was complicated. Some say it was tense. Others claim there was a specific incident that fractured things for good. Reports claim Liz knew something that could have damaged not just Griner's image, but the league's carefully built narrative around her. What exactly that something was depends on who you ask. Some fans point to unconfirmed locker room disputes. Others believe it involved behavior the league didn't want made public. And here's the part that fuels even more speculation. Liz has hinted at the real story in interviews before, but she's never laid it all out. Instead, she drops pieces. Phrases like, "I know why things really went down the way they did," or "it wasn't about what happened on the court." When you connect those hints with the league's complete silence, it starts to look less like an open and shut case, and more like a quiet exile. Because if Liz had the kind of information that could bring heat to the WNBA's biggest star, the easiest way to make it disappear was to make her disappear. If there's one thing professional sports leagues have proven time and time again, it's that going against the brand almost never ends well for the player. In the WNBA's history, outspoken athletes have faced everything from reduced playing time to mysteriously mutual contract terminations. It's rarely labeled as punishment. Instead, it's framed as creative differences or a change in direction. But the result is the same. The player disappears, and the league moves on without them. Cambage was never afraid to speak her mind. She called out pay disparities. She criticized league scheduling. She openly challenged how the WNBA treated its players compared to the NBA. And while fans may have seen that as passion, leagues often see it as a problem. A player willing to speak publicly is a player who might speak about the wrong things. If Liz really did know something about Brittney Griner, something the league didn't want to deal with, her outspokenness made her a risk they couldn't control. It wasn't just what she might say. It was the fact that if pushed far enough, she would say it. So if the goal was to protect the brand, the safest move was to quietly push her out and let the media do the rest. By the time the dust settled, Liz wasn't a star anymore. She was a headline, a cautionary tale, a warning to anyone else thinking about challenging the system. And that's why her story might not be about quitting at all. It might be about being silenced. Today, Cambage is still very much in the public eye, but not where fans expected her to be. Instead of dominating on the court, she's been seen on red carpets, modeling for high-profile brands, and running a successful account that keeps her name trending for reasons far removed from basketball. She posts selectively on social media, dropping glimpses into her life, but never enough to truly answer the questions fans keep asking. Every now and then, she'll hint at her side of the story. A cryptic Instagram caption, a comment in a podcast interview, a quick reminder that she didn't just walk away from the game walked away from her. Today, Cambage is still very much in the public eye, but not where fans expected her to be. Instead of dominating on the court, she's been seen on red carpets, modeling for high-profile brands, and running a successful account that keeps her name trending for reasons far removed from basketball. She posts selectively on social media, dropping glimpses into her life, but never enough to truly answer the questions fans keep asking. Every now and then, she'll hint at her side of the story. A cryptic Instagram caption, a comment in a podcast interview, a quick reminder that she didn't just walk away from the game walked away from her. The public remains split. Some still see her as the troublemaker the headlines painted her to be. Others believe she was a scapegoat, the price the league paid to protect one of its own. And through it all, the WNBA has stayed silent. No official explanations, no revisiting the incident, just an unspoken agreement to leave the past where it is. But silence doesn't erase suspicion. If anything, it's made the mystery bigger, because if there's truly nothing to hide, why does it still feel like there's so much being left unsaid? At this point, the real story behind Liz Cambage's exit from the WNBA lies in a gray area. You are somewhere between fact, rumor, and silence. We don't know exactly what happened behind closed doors. We don't know what conversations took place in locker rooms, boardrooms, or league offices. And we don't know whether Liz's departure was truly her choice or the result of an unspoken deal. What we do know is this: she left at the height of her physical ability. The league never gave a clear explanation, and Liz herself has repeatedly hinted there's more she could say, but hasn't. That's left fans with nothing but questions. Was she protecting herself by staying quiet? Was she protecting someone else? Or is she waiting for the right moment to finally tell everything? And then there's the biggest question of all, the one that lingers over every theory and rumor. If Liz Cambage really does hold the kind of truth that could shake the league, will we ever hear it? Because until that day comes, all we're left with are pieces of a puzzle the WNBA seems in no hurry to help us solve. At the end of the day, Liz Cambage's story is about more than just one player leaving the WNBA. It's about power, image control, and what happens when a league decides protecting its brand is more important than telling the full truth. Maybe Liz really was the disruptive force the headlines claimed she was. Maybe she crossed lines that couldn't be ignored. Or maybe she was simply the wrong person to hold the wrong information at the wrong time. What's clear is that her career didn't end with a whistle or a buzzer. It ended in silence. The kind that leaves more questions than answers. And that's why this story refuses to fade. Because until someone breaks that silence, we'll never know if Liz Cambage was a villain, and know the most dangerous thing you can be in professional sports: the player who knows too much. So what do you think? Was Liz Cambage pushed out to protect the league's golden player? Or did she write her own downfall? Drop your thoughts below, because the debate isn't ending anytime soon.